The military and the police, all they are interested in is to make sure that the people are under them. Yes, they see themselves as demigods.
Yeah,
that is why when they come, when you have an encounter with them, they will say, "Look at this bloody civilian." You are forgetting also what they are doing. What they forget, it is that it is through the taxes that those bloody civilians are paying, or they pay on a daily basis. It is through that taxpayers' money that they use to pay your salary.
This is the Stereosis.
Uniform men brutality in Nigeria is becoming something else. Actually, there's a video circulating where a soldier who is at the rank, an officer, a rank of a major, with his orderly, beating somebody up. We don't actually know what transpired in the video, but from the background, the soldier was saying, "Why did you overtake us?" And then later on, we saw a lot of the video trending where the man was actually terribly brutalized. Saw a court letter that be served to them that charging them for suing them for 150 million naira. Assault. And this is not only peculiar to military. Almost all uniformed men, both the police, but in this context, I think the military and the police are most times the culprits of this kind of scenarios, especially the soldiers. There is something actually wrong with these soldiers.
I've had a personal experience where a policeman actually broke my windscreen because
for doing what?
Just for going about my.
They stopped you. I didn't stop.
No, they didn't stop me. Like they were just coming out of a sharp bend, and I was trying to escape them, and then
wasn't it a checkpoint?
No, it wasn't a checkpoint.
Okay.
Just they were coming out of an angle, maybe from the barrack. I think from the barracks, and then I was just going. So the next thing they did was on the double crossed. They didn't really stop. One just used his gun power on my
windscreen
side mirror instead.
Okay.
And then they zoomed off. The problem with the uniformed men in Nigeria is that they still think that they are still in the military era.
Yeah.
So they still have that ideology because most times
if a kind of unchecked power.
Yes, they still have that. In fact, it's not the few. They still have that, unchecked power, which they had when the military was in power. And they forgot that military regime or the military dictatorship, even though we're in a civilian dictatorship now, but military dictatorship actually ended 1999. All right.
And the interesting thing is that someone posted it, a media personality, or Rufai said he posted it on his Twitter page. And I went through a lot of the comment section. And you can see people defending them.
Well,
a lot of people defend them, and this is an example of somebody I saw who said you need to really understand what the person did to them. So just cannot just be flogging you like that. And you begin to think that most people have come to even believe that they have the right to do it.
No, most people listen. The thing is, our people over time they get used to nonsense,
terrible situation.
Yes, and then they feel it's comfortable because it has not happened to them. If you become a victim of police or army brutality, then you will understand what it feels like.
Do you think they don't really? I think a lot of Nigerians have had one or two things to do with this kind of thing.
Yes.
But for a lot of people to still say, you know exactly what the woman don't judge from one side. You are seeing physical assault, even on camera.
I don't know. Maybe they were expecting the man to be killed first before they will now start. Even if the man was killed, they might tag him to be an armed robber. You know how Nigerian works.
Some comment section will say, why should they overtake a military?
Now, is the military man Jesus? Or is the military man the governor? This is just the military man. Listen, these things happens only here in Nigeria. If you go abroad to some well-developed world, even in some African countries, you don't see military men and the level of brutality that occurs here. Now, the military men, their place is in the barracks, except a situation where there is a vital, something that like
Need
maybe
for-
there is a need that calls for defense of the territory.
Yeah.
Then you see the military come around to
And that thing,
protect
and that thing
lives.
is that because of subsequent crashes in Nigeria, our military has replaced police.
Yes,
In most of the cases,
the reason
they
is
work
that
on police,
the
on
reason
checkpoints and
the reason, Chukwuma, is that the Nigerian police have sold their dignity. You know what happened to us. You know how much we suffered in the hands of the Nigerian police. Even when we did nothing, they knew that we did nothing. But they ended up extorting as much as 400,000 naira for our bail for issues we knew nothing about. Now, the man or the people who they were looking for were at large. And now we went in for it. Probably because of few phone calls that someone who is related to you placed a call. And now they trace the call to you and then arrest you and then asking you unnecessary questions. You see them very unintelligent in their operation. You see them very, very primitive in the way they do a lot of things. All right. Now, the thing over time is this. All they do, all the military, in fact, the military and the police, all they are interested in is to make sure that the people are under them.
by all means.
Yes, they see themselves as demigods.
Yeah,
That is why when they come, when you have an encounter with them, they will say, "Look at this bloody civilian." You are forgetting also what they are doing. What they forget, it is that it is through the taxes that those bloody civilians
pay.
are paying, or
That's
they
right.
pay on a daily basis. It is through that taxpayers' money that they use to pay your salary. And then you were recruited, be it as a policeman or as a soldier, to protect what? Life and properties,
Yeah.
and the territorial integrity of the country, not to brutalize your fellow citizenry.
And I think when I was younger, when you see soldiers, it's a thing of pride. Like when people go into military
Yes.
and when maybe you see
Yes.
retired military personnel in your villages, they command this kind of respect.
Because the military, as it used to be while we grew up, the military was seen as men of high level of discipline. Not a disorderly people. Now you see them. Maybe if I and someone has an issue, I go and call an army friend of mine. He will go to get the
his skin or his,
yeah. Now I will just go get the military man to help me collect the debt I'm being owed. They are now debt collectors. Rather than even the police.
Yeah.
All right.
Or reporting the case of police.
I remember a situation where a friend of mine actually went to shoot a skit, and in the process of shooting the skit, he mistakenly broke the seat in a beer parlor. Do you understand? And then the man who owns a beer parlor asked the guy to pay for it, even when the guy had bought a lot of drinks from the young man. Now, the young man, because he's still a struggling skit maker, he told him that he doesn't have money, but trust me, I will let me give you my house address. He says he knows where the guy lives. He said, okay, don't worry, I will find a way to borrow money and come and pay you. The guy said, it's a must that you must drop your phone. The guy said, over his dead body, will he drop his handset for you? As who? As the police or what? As collateral over his seat? My phone is worth over 100 and something thousand. Now your seat is how much? Highest 9,000-10,000. Now the young man, on insistence, the owner of the bar called the police. And the young man told him, it is even better, rather than giving you my phone, out of trust, it's better I give it to the police officers. And then do you know what happened, shockingly? On getting to the police station, the police never collected the phone. Instead, what they did was they pushed the young man inside cell.
for breaking the chair.
Yes, they pushed the young man inside the cell. This thing I'm telling you happened exactly at one police station. There is a need to call name so that you know this is not story. All right, it happened at one police station. The young man was pushed inside the cell, and he slept there until the following day. In the morning, they called him out and they said, "Please call somebody that will come and bail you and pay for the chair."
Just like that.
Do you understand? Now the young man came, called someone. Some people came and they went and bought that same chair, got it for the police, and then the police started demanding money for bail. Do you understand? Now, now look at this. This is what happened. Now this individual, after he paid for his bail, he bought the new chair. The police also insisted that the one that was broken, that is their property, that is an evidence. The young man almost threw punches. And when they saw the young man was so angry, they said, "Please carry your wahala and go. Carry your seat and go." So the exploitational tendencies of the policemen is on the high rise, and that was why over time the youths of Nigeria had to go for
in 2022.
Yeah, that was why the NSAS. That was what necessitated the NSAS protest.
2020. Yeah.
Now, as if the whole thing will die down, it is not dying down.
Yeah, I think another thing is, and all these things add up to the injustice we have in the system now, because people don't even believe they go to police now to get justice.
No.
The guy that reports first, or the guy with the money, or the guy with the influence, actually gets. Remember that time when police one of the ogas made a statement I will never forget. He said the people were working for. Yes. At a stage when the thing got so tough and lawyers were coming, he said the people were working for. Now I began to think, who are you working for? Instead of working for, he was working for the politician, a group of politicians who paid them to do whatever to hunt down the young man they were looking for at the moment. So the thing is, and it's like, because the way they act, they are not actually, the allegiance is not actually to the constitution and the people of Nigeria. No. It's actually to a group of people. Yes. Who are actually listen. They're not even their paymasters. They're actually maybe the guys who can. No, they are their pay. Do you know why they are paymasters? Yeah. These are the same people who can come to the police station and give them as much as 500,000. And then what do? They do the biddings of those guys. Yeah. Do you understand? There are things you see. Nigerian uniform men do, and it's become unbelievable to. Why do you think that there is a clause that you should not stay under the detention for a particular period of time? That does not apply to Nigeria. Now I tell you now. Now what the Nigerian police does, for instance, is that I might have issue with you, and then it comes out from the mouth of those big men, and that was why the senator who was embarrassing the Uber guy in Abuja was proud enough to be asking him, "Do you know who I am?" The "do you know who I am" has a connotation. Do you know I can lock you up or make you disappear? Yes. For a long time. And nobody will know where you are. And nobody will know where you are. And that is the job. Now, the rich men or the influential are using the police to do the henchman job. Yes. Or do you understand? On the average Nigerian. Yeah, on the average Nigerian, because they know they can't try with their fellow big man. Or they even fear journalists. Yes. Even more than some big men. Because those who have voice. Yes. What they fear so much is this voice. There was a case a friend of mine had. He's an assistant pastor assisting the GO. Yes. And the problem ensued between the GO and some people about a very serious problem about rape. And the GO had police orderly too, following him up and down. And police decided to come and arrest this man after investigation. Everybody that said to arrest him without informing the orderly. They were coming to arrest him. And they were on a Sunday morning they came and everybody that thing. And the man somehow escaped. And out of anger, the group of police that came arrested the orderly. Which orderly? Okay, the deputy. Deputy GO. Oh. The pastor assisting the GO. Really? For 3 days. I was in Shorty. So when I went there, I was very angry. I said, "You guys are looking for this man had orderly." One police officer told me, "Am I crazy? What am I talking about here?" That if they informed the orderly, the man will escape. You know, I could not believe. The man said, "Why should they inform the orderly? Your fellow police officer, they say they send them signal." But normally, the way things should have worked, okay, the man should be arrested very easily. They send those guys signal, and he gets arrested. If you have an arrest warrant. Yes, on the man. They were actually, because after their investigation, they actually secured arrest warrants. Because in as much as you're protecting a man, which in a country with the right security architecture, you are not supposed to attach a police officer
to a singular individual walking around.
I heard that if you no, it's a big person. He has a big church, and because of this,
It's not a matter of being a big person.
I think
if you there are,
I think if you demand for, I think there are processes where you can demand for
there are his life is not under threat. Except he must have committed some crimes that we don't know. Because some of those men of God who goes around with police, because God should be your number one protector.
No, there are people also who are not men of God who go around with police.
Because of maybe they are afraid of one crime they must have committed or the other.
Even in the US, there are people that are assigned.
No, there are private security. Those are people either under one form of investigation or the other, or people who are termed national assets.
Yes.
All right, like someone who has worked in someone like Elon Musk.
Yes, and some of those are top
because he produces a lot of military stuff.
He has an FBI.
Yes, of course.
So
yes,
most of like in America, most of them will use security clearances. They have secret service
yes,
protection.
of course. But those who do not, if you need security, like for instance, Messi in playing football in America, the US, he has a private bodyguard, not the CIA.
Yes, even Mark Zuckerberg has. I think they say the highest. I thought among the top CEOs, the highest person that he pays highest for his own personal security.
All right. So if we go back to that of the soldiers and all the rest, sometimes I just feel that the Nigerian military have lost. It's just that the people fear them because they can kill you if you are not careful.
Yeah, and I think this is a part of the educational training we've gotten, because you can see this is not only peculiar to even the junior rank officers. You can meet junior rank officers who are very nice.
Yes.
I've met some of them. I parked car in front of the military base, and the guy said, "Don't you know the park car here, please?" And I didn't know. I just crossed him. A guy was calling me, and I left in the car. I crossed very far. I started coming to him. So the guy was so shocked that you have mind, Oga. I said, I didn't know. The guy started laughing. So we don't park cars here now, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
But you can see even this guy. Okay, this guy is a major. He knows everything, and you are here. You are sorting somebody. You know this thing is wrong, and you're just allowing these young guys to do it.
If this country was working well, that man and his crew and his I don't know what they call them in the army. Be it as it may, either they are sacked or they are demoted from the army because that is indiscipline.
Thorough indiscipline.
Yes.
And soldiers, I tell you, I still have respect for the military. This guy, there will be a panel. If he is not taking, a lot of things will happen to them, but they won't tell you what happens in the military and all those things.
Yes, of course.
And like what you are saying about what you said earlier concerning like the police or how somebody is killed like that. What do somebody do in that position where, because these people were brave?
Yes. Actually, not the man. The man was actually brave, and the woman, I don't know if it's the wife who was capturing it on live video, on live coverage, was also brave enough.
Yes.
Because if she wasn't,
most people will not, although the Oga chop the beating. I'm not because of that.
I'm not really sure if I was the one I would have the morale
because of the beating. And
because I know
the evidence on the man's head.
Especially when you're from a region like the southeast, where anybody is a target.
Yeah.
Now, if you do such a thing, the next thing they will tag you is IPOB.
Now, but you know, there's something about women.
Right.
They wouldn't want to attack a woman at that time because if anything happened,
yes.
That's why they concentrate on beating the out of the man and they were trying to break the phone or thereabouts. And then, but I don't really advise any person to go video them because you can lose your life.
Yeah, I think
if it's not a secret, if it's not hidden,
a secret camera. Yes, what I advise most Nigerians is if you have money and you have a car, try as much as possible to get all those hidden cameras. Get them.
At that position, you can turn them on.
Yes, you just if they just capture you, just tell them, please, you are on live record. All right, so that they know. In fact, it's even good they know your record.
I don't think it's good you tell them on live record. This is Nigeria. You're on highway.
They will be very careful. If you are in a place where people are moving.
Yeah.
But if you are in a very secluded area, please just turn on the secret camera and then keep quiet because you hear a situation where they will tell you, "Do you know I can kill you here and nothing will happen?"
Most people who, if you have a car, you would have had a counter with those kind of things. They'll tell you, and the police will tell you now, and you know it will happen, nothing will happen.
If you can't give them a measurable sum, They can do just anything to
Just
you.
buy you, and then that will be the end of it.
As simple as
Because
it
I
is.
know this thing will give a lot of people that sense to record them.
Yeah.
Please, if you can, do it. But you have to be very careful because this is Nigeria.
But-
You can just
As you are getting the impetus to record either the police or the army, also have it at the back of your mind that you might get killed, and then there will be no justice. And there will be no justice.
Yeah, yeah.
And there will be no justice.
Yes,
Absolutely.